In August 2019, Jeffrey Epstein, financier accused of sex trafficking minors, was found dead in a federal jail cell, under circumstances that stunned the world entirely. He had been in custody for weeks, awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking charges. Yet the world would never see him face justice in court. The official ruling was suicide by hanging, but inconsistencies and missing footage immediately raised doubts among investigators, journalists, and millions online. Cameras near his cell were offline or malfunctioning, while guards failed to perform standard checks, leaving Epstein unmonitored at the most critical moments. CCTV footage contained gaps, jump cuts, and missing frames, creating visual silences that intensified speculation about negligence, coincidence, or something far darker. Guards assigned to check him every 30 minutes were asleep and later admitted falsifying logs, a catastrophic breakdown in prison protocol. Epstein had previously been on suicide watch, then removed days before his death, leaving him alone in isolation, without proper observation or intervention. Every surveillance camera should have captured activity near his cell, yet critical angles remained blind, recordings were missing, and investigators were left puzzled. At approximately 6:30 a.m., staff discovered Epstein unresponsive, rushed to provide aid, but he was pronounced dead shortly thereafter, igniting worldwide disbelief. Headlines screamed across the globe, reflecting disbelief, anger, and speculation. The narrative fractured almost immediately, feeding conspiracy theories online and in the media. Social media became a battlefield. Debates, analysis, memes, and viral threads dissected every failure, every missing frame, and every unanswered question in the case. Even official investigations revealed grave failures. Missing footage, blind spots, falsified logs, and the redactions only fueled public suspicion that truth was intentionally hidden. Some argued suicide, others whispered of a cover-up. Each unanswered question deepened the story, creating an atmosphere of tension, fear, and dark fascination worldwide. Critical hours before death were unaccounted for. Timestamps contradicted guard reports, leaving investigators with a timeline that defied simple explanation. The prison, designed to securely hold high-risk inmates, instead became the stage for one of the most controversial deaths in modern American history. Transported to the hospital, he was pronounced dead. Questions arose instantly. How could such a high-profile prisoner die unnoticed in federal custody? Every system meant to monitor him failed simultaneously. Guards asleep, cameras offline, logs falsified, a cascade of failure that stunned investigators and the public. And while the prison remained silent, the story erupted globally. Social media, news outlets, and late-night shows dissected every failure, every shadow, every gap. Questions dominated the headlines. Why was he left alone? How did protocols fail? Which powerful figures might have benefited from his silence? Epstein's death became the spark that ignited global obsession. Each unanswered question more haunting than the last. Each detail twisted into mystery. The world watched, debated, and feared the implications. Epstein's death was not an ending. It was the beginning of a tangled, dark story about secrecy and power. Whispers spread about elite protection. Media scrutiny intensified, and every conspiracy theory seemed plausible in the absence of complete evidence. Investigators attempted to reconstruct the final hours, piecing together logs, interviews, and camera footage, but each path led to frustration and redacted truths. Epstein's death would become a case study in failure. Federal oversight, broken systems, and a tantalizing question that would never fully go away. And as dawn broke over Manhattan, the world realized this story was far from over. The mystery deepened, and the shadow of doubt remained. Millions dissected every statement, every leaked report, every redacted page, and the debate raged, keeping Epstein's story alive in the global conscience. His death set the stage for a much larger story: corruption, power, and questions that extended far beyond the walls of MCC into the lives of the elite. It was the first chapter of a saga that would involve high-powered figures, secretive flights, legal loopholes, and a world watching every move with suspicion. The world's fascination only grew because this was no ordinary death. It was the spark that would expose networks of power, secrecy, and untold crimes. In 2008, Jeffrey Epstein struck a secretive plea deal that stunned legal experts and survivors alike, a deal that would haunt the justice system forever. Prosecutors allowed Epstein to plead guilty to only minor state charges, avoiding federal prosecution for widespread sexual abuse of dozens of underage girls. The deal granted Epstein an 18-month sentence, work release privileges, and confidentiality, a punishment far lighter than the crimes alleged against him. Survivors were silenced by non-disclosure agreements, their stories suppressed, while Epstein retained his wealth, influence, and access to the elite. Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's confidant, orchestrated many logistics behind the scenes, flying young victims to his homes, maintaining secrecy with chilling efficiency. Flight logs later revealed high-profile passengers from celebrities to political figures, their connections amplifying the scandal and deepening suspicion of complicity. Legal experts argued the plea deal was unprecedented, allowing Epstein to avoid federal scrutiny while victims' voices were effectively silenced for a decade. Prosecutors did not inform victims of the plea negotiations, violating their rights under federal law, a revelation that would later ignite national outrage. Investigative journalist Julie K. Brown uncovered details of this deal years later, her reporting exposing the enormity of Epstein's privilege and the legal system's failure. Brown's relentless work revealed dozens of victims, detailing abuse, coercion, and complicity, stories that have been buried by a system designed to protect Epstein. Her articles sparked public outrage, congressional inquiries, and renewed investigations, proving that one journalist could reignite a case others deemed closed. Epstein's plea deal allowed him to keep his fortune, travel freely for work release, and escape federal consequences, fueling anger and disbelief worldwide. The deal was secret for over a decade, until victims came forward, lawsuits were filed, and the scope of corruption and complicity began to emerge. Victims described coercion, threats, and psychological manipulation. Their voices silenced for years, but now finally amplified by investigative reporting and public outrage. Law enforcement failures during this period became evident. Ignored warnings, withheld evidence, and plea deals that protected a wealthy predator from federal justice. Prosecutors faced criticism for lack of transparency, failure to notify victims, and a legal framework that favored the privileged, exposing systemic inequities. Maxwell's role remained pivotal, facilitating Epstein's operations, maintaining secrecy, and connecting him to powerful networks, her influence undeniable and chilling. The flight logs hinted at high-profile visitors, celebrities, royalty, politicians, a shadow network that elevated Epstein's operations and fed public curiosity. Brown's investigation became a turning point, revealing the scale of abuse, secrecy, and the lengths powerful figures went to maintain silence. Each clause, each omission, each secret agreement added fuel to the perception of injustice, a predator shielded by privilege, while victims remained unheard. Public outrage grew as details emerged, anger focused not just on Epstein, but on prosecutors, officials, and the system that allowed his crimes to continue. The deal, often described as the sweetheart plea, became a symbol of corruption and failure in the criminal justice system, sparking outrage and lawsuits. Victims described the deal as a betrayal. The law failed them, and the public began to demand accountability for everyone involved in shielding Epstein. This chapter cemented Epstein's invulnerability, at least temporarily, and exposed a network of powerful individuals who benefited from secrecy and complicity. Brown's reporting illuminated hidden truths, connected dots, and revealed the names that the legal system tried to erase from public memory. Epstein's story was no longer just about a single man. It was about the failure of justice, the power of secrecy, and the shadow of influence. This is the point where the public began to question: who else knew, who benefited, and why did the system fail so completely for so long? The 2008 plea deal became a turning point, sparking investigations, public outrage, and the eventual reopening of the case that would lead to global attention. Media coverage intensified, highlighting systemic flaws, survivor stories, and the network of enablers that allowed abuse to continue unchecked for years. And so, the 2008 deal set the stage for decades of investigation, revealing both a predator shielded by power and the voices of survivors demanding justice. Epstein's network extended far beyond his properties. Private jets shuttled the powerful, connecting celebrities, politicians, and royalty to a world hidden from public view. Flight logs reveal names that shocked the world: Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Donald Trump, their presence fueling speculation and conspiracy theories globally. Each flight, each guest, hinted at privilege and secrecy, raising questions about knowledge, complicity, and the reach of Epstein's influence across continents. Jets carried not just people, but power and secrets. Each trip orchestrated meticulously by Maxwell and Epstein to maintain discretion and control. Epstein's homes were hubs of secrecy, luxury, and manipulation. Lavish parties and meetings masked dark operations, hidden behind wealth and influence. Investigators discovered how the properties were used to groom and traffic victims, each room holding evidence of a carefully concealed operation. Little St. James, dubbed Pedophile Island, became infamous. High-profile visitors arrived undercover, blending privilege with secrecy, while crimes went largely unnoticed. Flights logs and photographs revealed a pattern. Key figures repeatedly visited, their presence later confirmed in court documents and investigative reporting. Investigators pieced together travel histories, revealing a network of associates spanning business, politics, and social elites, an intricate web of power and silence. Maxwell's role was central, managing logistics, recruiting victims, and ensuring the network remained insulated from scrutiny, a gatekeeper of secrecy. Maps of flights, villas, and meetings reveal coordination at a global scale, a system that allowed abuse to continue with minimal risk of exposure. Passport stamps and boarding passes provided breadcrumbs, tracing the movements of Epstein, Maxwell, and numerous influential passengers, painting a picture of a hidden elite network. Reports suggested some visitors were aware, some oblivious. Each encounter, each party, potentially implicating figures who later faced media scrutiny. Witnesses described meticulously planned operations, restricted access, and constant surveillance designed to intimidate, manipulate, and silence anyone who might speak out. The jet network became a symbol of privilege and complicity. High-profile figures transported, often unaware of the full extent of Epstein's crimes. Flight logs revealed patterns of repeated travel with the same associates, a network deeply intertwined with wealth, politics, and media influence. Investigators focused on Maxwell and other close associates, uncovering a trail of abuse, recruitment, and cover-ups stretching over decades. Each document told a story: coerced victims, secretive travel, and high-profile connections, raising uncomfortable questions for politicians, royals, and celebrities alike. Timelines were reconstructed from logs, tickets, and witness testimony, revealing recurring trips, high-profile meetings, and disturbing patterns of exploitation. Some guests appeared unaware, others complicit, Investigators scrutinized each name, building a picture of a network that operated with near-total impunity. Julie K. Brown and others painstakingly exposed the network, connecting dots between flights, properties, and high-profile associates, unraveling secrets long hidden from public view. Leaked communications hinted at complicity, coordination, and attempts to suppress information, illuminating how power and secrecy protected predators for years. The island became infamous in media reports, a secluded location where the elite mixed leisure with exploitation, shielded from scrutiny by money and influence. Each room, each hallway, each detail was orchestrated, designed to maintain control over victims and ensure that outsiders could never piece together the full story. The web expanded. Financiers, lawyers, pilots, and socialites were all part of Shadow Network, connected through flights, properties, and carefully managed secrecy. Public fascination grew with every revealed name, questions mounted about who knew, who participated, and who turned a blind eye to Epstein's operations. Flights traced the movements of elites across continents, each route exposing a layer of complicity, secrecy, and the reach of Epstein's influence. Each new revelation added to the chilling narrative. High-profile visitors, silent enablers, and a system that allowed abuse to flourish unchecked. Flight manifests became evidence of power, privilege, and abuse, a tangible connection between the predator and the network that sustained him. Investigators painstakingly reconstructed the network, identifying key figures, patterns, and the sprawling scale of a hidden operation that spanned decades. In 2019, the world watched as Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested, ending years of evasion and finally shining a light on Epstein's hidden empire. Maxwell's arrest shocked the public. She faced charges of aiding Epstein, recruiting victims, and concealing abuse from law enforcement for over a decade. Federal investigators meticulously gathered flight logs, witness statements, and photographs, building cases against Maxwell and others connected to Epstein's sprawling network. Each file revealed chilling details: coercion, manipulation, and abuse, as well as the high-profile figures who had unknowingly or knowingly visited Epstein's properties. Manhattan, Palm Beach, Little St. James, and Paris, investigators traced Epstein's movements, flights, and connections, reconstructing the predator's global reach with precision. Maxwell's role as Epstein's facilitator became clear, organizing logistics, recruiting victims, and ensuring secrecy while shielding high-profile visitors from scrutiny. Media coverage intensified. Images of Epstein with Clinton, Trump, Prince Andrew, Wexner, Spacey, and others circulated worldwide, fueling speculation and outrage. Witness testimonies emerged detailing Maxwell's coordination of abuse, her influence over victims, and how she maintained secrecy across multiple properties and countries. Federal authorities pieced together a network of facilitators, revealing the intricate web of enablers that helped Epstein operate undetected for decades. Public interest surged. News cycles were dominated by Maxwell's arrest, Epstein's crimes, and the elite names connected to the network of abuse. Victims' testimonies painted a stark picture: manipulation, grooming, and coercion orchestrated by Maxwell and executed by Epstein, hidden from public view for years. Palm Beach mansion raids uncovered evidence, documents, photographs, and items corroborating victims' accounts, providing investigators with proof of systemic abuse and secrecy. Flight logs traced powerful individuals visiting properties: Clinton, Trump, Prince Andrew, Naomi Campbell, Woody Allen, Mick Jagger, each name adding to the chilling scope. Maxwell faced intense legal scrutiny. Attorneys challenged evidence, while prosecutors methodically built a case, exposing decades of manipulation, exploitation, and high-profile involvement. Investigators revealed Epstein's global network of enablers, dozens of associates, pilots, staff, and socialites, all playing roles in maintaining secrecy and access. Little St. James, Manhattan, Palm Beach. Each property meticulously documented, showing travel patterns, parties, and connections to the elite, revealing the scale of abuse. Media scrutiny intensified. Investigative journalism highlighted victim stories, exposed the plea deal failures, and connected Maxwell's arrest to a broader web of elite complicity. Charges included recruiting minors, sex trafficking, and conspiracy. Each line of the indictment peeling back layers of a predator's empire long shielded by wealth and influence. Photographs showed Maxwell and Epstein hosting gatherings attended by powerful figures, each image fueling public outrage, fascination, and speculation about complicity. Investigations revealed how the elite's presence, whether aware or not, allowed Epstein to maintain his operations, insulated from legal accountability for decades. Prosecutors connected travel logs, witness accounts, and Maxwell's coordination, showing a network meticulously shielding abuse while evading justice until her arrest. Her arrest symbolized accountability, a turning point in the investigation, ensuring that the facilitator of Epstein's crimes could no longer evade justice. Victims described decades of manipulation, trauma, and silence, now amplified by Maxwell's arrest and the exposure of Epstein's elite network. Flight paths, properties, and associates were meticulously documented, each connection revealing systemic abuse, privilege, and a network designed to protect Epstein. Media coverage intensified. The world learned of Maxwell's arrest, Epstein's crimes, and the shocking involvement of politicians, celebrities, and royalty. Federal investigations confirmed decades of manipulation, coercion, and secrecy, leaving the public questioning the power structures that enabled such crimes. Each discovery deepened the story. Epstein's crimes, Maxwell's facilitation, and the elite network that shielded abuse, a chilling revelation for the world to see. Flight logs and property records revealed a network spanning continents, each connection fueling speculation about who knew, who participated, and who looked away. The investigations exposed patterns of power, secrecy, and manipulation, showing how the elite's presence inadvertently or intentionally shielded Epstein for decades. Maxwell's arrest ignited global attention. Investigations would continue, public scrutiny intensified, and the hidden network of Epstein's crimes was finally being unraveled. After Maxwell's arrest, victims filed lawsuits, survivors came forward, naming Epstein, Maxwell, and the high-profile figures who visited his properties. Legal documents detailed coercion, manipulation, and abuse, revealing the depth of Epstein's operation and the complicity of elites who frequented his homes. Victims' accounts referenced Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, Kevin Spacey, Naomi Campbell, Mick Jagger, Woody Allen, each name igniting media frenzy and speculation. Lawyers meticulously built cases, cross-referencing flight logs, visitor lists, and photos, connecting properties, guests, and abuse in a chilling, undeniable network. The legal fight exposed decades of failures, plea deals, law enforcement oversights, and the enormous gap between privilege and accountability. Testimonies described psychological manipulation, how victims were recruited, groomed, and controlled, often in the presence of elites like Barack, Wexner, and Dershowitz. Photographs captured parties, gatherings, and flights attended by high-profile figures, each revealing the systemic abuse masked by wealth and power. Media outlets worldwide analyzed the lawsuits, highlighting Epstein's connections to artists, politicians, royalty, and business magnates, each revelation shocking audiences. Flight logs showed repeated trips by Clinton, Prince Andrew, Trump, Jagger, Spacey, Naomi Campbell, Woody Allen, each connecting the predator to the elite network. Patterns emerged: properties, jets, and repeated guest appearances, documenting the system of privilege and secrecy that allowed Epstein's crimes to flourish. The lawsuits revealed shocking details. Epstein's staff, pilots, and enablers coordinated logistics. Maxwell remained the key facilitator, ensuring discretion and control. Newly surfaced documents connected Prince Andrew, Barack, Clinton, Trump, Naomi Campbell, Jagger, Spacey, Woody Allen, and others, each adding tension and media intrigue. Victims described manipulation, isolation, and coercion, how visits by the powerful intensified trauma and created a climate of fear and silence. Lawyers uncovered details of Epstein's finances, hidden properties, and international connections, revealing a complex operation spanning decades and continents. Court filings linked Maxwell's actions to recruiting and transporting victims, demonstrating a coordinated, systematic approach to exploit minors under elite protection. Each account revealed coercion, subtle threats, psychological control, and manipulation, victims describing events attended or facilitated by prominent individuals worldwide. Raids of Epstein's properties uncovered hidden evidence, flight manifests, passports, and photographs, all pointing to a meticulously organized operation shielded by power. The lawsuits, combined with investigative journalism, exposed a vast network, creating global outrage, intense media scrutiny, and renewed call for justice. Authorities pieced together the puzzle: flights, properties, parties, and VIP visitors, building a case that illustrated the systemic abuse and protection for decades. Investigations revealed connections across the globe, linking Epstein, Maxwell, enablers, and high-profile figures in a complex web of secrecy and power. Survivors described the psychological toll, fear, intimidation, and trauma intensified by the awareness of the powerful guests present during abuse. Every new revelation generated public outrage. Lawsuits, exposés, and leaked documents uncovered shocking patterns, illustrating complicity and privilege across industries. High-profile names surfaced in filings: Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, Chris Tucker, Sarah Ferguson, Walter Cronkite, Richard Branson, Phil Collins, Dershowitz, each igniting curiosity and outrage. The island, properties, and flight records were meticulously documented, showing coordination of abuse, elite participation, and Maxwell's central role. Flight paths, properties, and VIP visits illustrated a network spanning continents, a chilling reminder of power protecting predators for decades. Lawsuits, media revelations, and survivor testimonies exposed the breadth of the operation, bringing public attention to the hidden network of abuse and elite complicity. Each new legal filing brought stories of manipulation, fear, and trauma, intensifying public fascination and ensuring the scandal could no longer be ignored. Lawyers connected dots between properties, flights, and VIP visitors, showing how the elite's presence, whether aware or not, enabled Epstein's crimes. Network exposed, victims gaining a voice, lawsuits piling evidence, and revelations igniting public outrage across the globe. Epstein's death in 2019 shocked the world, officially ruled suicide, but questions lingered, fueling conspiracy theories and public outrage across media outlets. The circumstances surrounding his death seemed improbable. Cameras malfunctioned, guards neglected duty, and the powerful connections he carried sparked widespread speculation. Meanwhile, Ghislaine Maxwell's trial became the focal point. Media, victims, and investigators watched closely as justice slowly began to unfold. Witnesses recounted chilling stories, abuse orchestrated by Epstein, facilitated by Maxwell, and how high-profile figures, knowingly or not, remained entangled in his network. Maxwell's trial revealed decades of manipulation, recruitment, and concealment. Survivors finally testified, their voices exposing the predator's calculated abuse. Flight logs, photographs, and documents meticulously linked Epstein to politicians, royals, business magnates, and celebrities, their names now part of public scrutiny. Figures like Clinton, Trump, Prince Andrew, Wexner, Barack, Jagger, Spacey, Woody Allen, each mentioned in context, showing the breadth of the elite network. Survivors shared harrowing experiences. Their courage revealed how manipulation, fear, and power created a system of abuse that went unchecked for decades. Maxwell's conviction in 2021 shocked many, decades of facilitation and concealment finally met legal accountability, a small step toward justice for victims. Epstein's properties, Little St. James, Manhattan, Palm Beach, all became symbols of a predator's reach, a network shielded by secrecy and wealth. Authorities traced the network's intricacies, revealing a chilling system of protection, manipulation, and complicity across politics, entertainment, and business. Media coverage amplified public fascination. Leaks, lawsuits, and documentaries revealed hidden connections, exposing a predator whose influence spanned decades. Epstein's death left unanswered questions. Many high-profile figures avoided accountability, leaving speculation, conspiracy, and suspicion lingering across global headlines. Survivors' lawsuits continued, aiming to uncover hidden financial assets, implicated enablers, and any remaining evidence of a network built on secrecy and abuse. The island, properties, and flight logs became symbols of the predator's reach, haunting reminders of the lives impacted and the secrets hidden in plain sight. Each revelation reinforced the dark truth: power, wealth, and influence enabled abuse to continue, while victims remained silenced for decades. Public outrage grew as media outlets detailed the network. Survivors' courage sparked movements, forcing society to confront privilege protecting predators. Maxwell's sentencing marked a symbolic victory. Justice delayed, not denied, survivors' voices finally breaking through decades of manipulation and secrecy. Epstein's death remained controversial. Unanswered questions and conspiracy theories persisted, fueling documentaries, social media, and public fascination with the scandal. Investigators traced international travel, elite guests, and hidden properties. The network's complexity revealed a chilling orchestration of power, secrecy, and abuse. Survivors' lawsuits, media coverage, and documentaries ensured Epstein's crimes could not be forgotten, exposing systemic privilege, shielding predators from accountability. Flight routes, properties, and elite visitors mapped the dark network, revealing decades of secrecy, coercion, and the chilling lengths power can shield predators. Epstein's death, Maxwell's conviction, and ongoing lawsuits cemented the story in public consciousness, a tale of abuse, privilege, and long-delayed accountability. Survivors' courage, investigators' diligence, and media scrutiny exposed a predator's empire, ensuring the scandal remained a stark warning about power protecting abuse. Each testimony revealed the human cost, trauma, fear, and resilience, leaving a legacy that continues to challenge society's blind spots and complicity. Public fascination persists, documentaries, books, and social media discussions continue, keeping the story alive, questioning power, and demanding accountability. Epstein's empire destroyed some lives, shielded others, but survivors' voices endure, ensuring the dark truth cannot be ignored.